Hello and welcome to MyNation. In this season of political masterstroke, the latest one is being delivered by the Narendra Modi government. What is a writ petition? Is it a writ petition or not as far as the legalities are concerned about the Ram Janmabhoomi case, the title suit, and what are the legalities involved? A lot of light will be shed by Siddhartha, my colleague. Hi. Siddhartha, what is it? Is it a writ petition or not in the first place?
See, the Ayodhya application that has been moved by the centre in the Supreme Court, first of all, it is not a writ petition. It's an application. A government cannot file a writ petition in a court. Why? Because a writ petition is filed when an individual is asking for some rights guaranteed in the constitution to be, guaranteed. Okay, to be given by the government. So, one, it is not a writ petition. It is the confusion, that has emanated is because of two previous writ petitions on which this application has been based. One was in 1994 and the second was Aslam Bhure, this thing, writ petition moved in the Supreme Court in 2002, which is why this confusion.
So, what is going to happen from now on? Anybody, a lay person like me would like to answer or want to know that what is next? Is it a proper hearing, full bench hearing?
See, hearing, of course, the government will present its case. The petition has been filed, right? How the Supreme Court wants to move of its own accord in this situation, it's up to the Supreme Court. But one thing is for sure, as you said, it's been a master stroke. Why? Let us tell our audience, our viewers of MyNation. This all began, this entire application has been based on certain facts which we need to understand. It was in 1993 that the then Narasimha Rao government had acquired a lot of land, not only the disputed land, but a lot of land around the disputed land.
Right. And
the Supreme Court calls this excess land or superfluous land. Now we see that the disputed land of this 67.7 acres, which was acquired by the then government, only 0.313 acre of land is the disputed site.
I just want to ask for our viewers, for the better clarity for our viewers, was it a Congress government then when it was acquired?
Absolutely.
It was a Congress government.
It was the PV Narasimha Rao government that has acquired this land. Now, around the 0.313 acre of disputed land, there is the rest of the land that was acquired, the total being 67.7 acre. Of this, most of the land on Indo is owned by Hindus. And the Supreme Court also observed in the Ismail Faruqi case, the first writ petition,
right,
hearing the first writ petition. So, in the Ismail Faruqi case in 1994, the Supreme Court had made this observation quite clearly that only 0.313 acre of land is disputed. The land around it acquired in 1993 under a certain act of the government. That land is owned by mostly Hindus. The Muslims do not dispute that claim. The Muslims have never laid claim to this land acquired outside the disputed area.
So, what you're essentially saying is that apart from that small acres, from minuscule acres of land, that is, the rest of them are not disputed.
No, it's not disputed, which is what? And now the government, now we'll have to see the context. The Ayodhya case had to be heard. A new bench had been, a new 5-member bench had been constituted. Why? Because two justices of the Supreme Court from the previous bench, they had to recuse themselves from the case. Now, one judge could not be present for the hearing, and therefore the Ayodhya hearing could not be done. Given the public sentiment, given that elections are coming, the government already under pressure to at least be seen to be doing something has absolutely, I would agree with you, come up with a masterstroke. But this masterstroke, if you see legally, is based on this Supreme Court observation in Ismail Faruqi case that the land around the disputed site, which as you said is a minuscule part of the entire acquisition, is not contended, is not disputed.
Now, my next question, the logical next question is that when will that hearing come up, or when is that when will the Supreme Court decide upon that application as you may
I think the viewers of MyNation should expect that a view will be taken by the Supreme Court in this matter in the next couple of days.
So that's big. The next 48 hours, we may get to hear that what will be the stance of the Supreme Court as far as this request and this application of the government of India is concerned. But be as it may, coming back to the politics of it, it's a very crucial time. Siddhartha is coming just before the Dharm Sangsad, a crucial Dharm Sangsad. The sons were not very happy. The mood was not as euphoric. Mandir wahi banayenge has faded down. BJP was feeling the pinch. How is it going to help or otherwise the BJP?
See, as I said, Anindo, the government was in a fix in the matter. Elections are just around the corner, and this government, the BJP government, the BJP government at the center. Also, incidentally, Ayodhya is in UP, and it is very central as much to national politics as it is to the politics of the biggest political decider of India, Uttar Pradesh. So, both the BJP governments, they needed to be at least looking to be doing something, taking some step towards at least what they think has been the popular demand of the Hindu society at large.
So, what is going to be the, has it put the opposition in a fix? Because we are talking about a time when the opposition is more neutral. It is not as at least appeasing or seen to be appeasing as it was a year back. We have seen the temple runs that has been happening as far as the Congress party is concerned. We have the Janyodhari image of the changeover, makeover of the Congress party president. Does it put the Congress in a fix?
See, but 2-3, sort of bare facts. The Hindu vote bank is central to the BJP. The temple run and everything was a climb down from the strictly secular position which the Congress has so far taken. 3, anything, now in this context, anything that seems to be helping the BJP, of course, the Congress and the opposition is not going to like. Now, again, as I said, now the government, I mean, this move by the government has actually spun the narrative in its favor in a very, very short time. Come morning, this thing happens, and everybody is talking about the feasibility of a mandir in Ayodhya. A grand Ram Mandir in Ayodhya is now, I mean, at least it seems to be not a very distant dream. This government now is looking, if you look at the optics of it, this government is now looking to be doing something for it. Also, it puts this government, the Modi-led center, the party, the Saffron party, the RSS, the VHP in a very, very safe political position. Why? Because it has shifted the onus entirely onto the courts. Now, it is up to the courts as to what they do. If they don't do anything, they will face the ire of the people. So, this electoral season, this government has actually what we call in cricket parlance, gone in for a very, very cheeky shot.
Yeah, it's quite a tricky shot, and it's absolutely a masterstroke to say the least. Before we end the conversation with Siddhartha, we have already learned from him that it's not a writ petition. We have also learned from him that it's not a full bench hearing, and also learned from him probably in the next 48 hours we are going to get to know what the court's stance will be. But before that,
I'll just take just 1 second to just add one more thing, which adds to the entire, which completes the picture, so to say, and why the opposition is so stung. Because of the majority of the land that is outside this thing, the superfluous land or the excess land, most of that, which is to be precise 42 acres, is owned by the Ram Janmabhoomi Nyas. So once it gets it, it can make, it can make preparations as if, the court was going to give a judgment in its favor.
Because it's in the ownership of the land.
Absolutely.
So that is my concluding question, Siddharth, because see, if presuming tomorrow that the disputed land is being given to the Babri Masjid side, the people who have been fighting for the Babri Masjid, and you have a scenario where the entire land surrounding it is being owned by Hindus. So
then what happens?
What that happens? How will they approach that land? So
see, I'll tell the audience here that in 1993, when the acquisition was done, and when this was challenged in the court in 1994, in the Supreme Court, having made the judgments that we told you, also had said that it was a wise move. Why? Because if, for example, the disputed land is given to, say, one party, of course, it will go to one of the either parties. So if it goes to one party and the surrounding land is owned by the other party, then they can, not allow a clear passage to access the holy site and therefore will be an infringement of the fundamental right of the community concerned.
Right.
Right. Now, the government, as in the Supreme Court and the then government, I mean the then government had argued in the Supreme Court, put its position that they had acquired this land and a large piece of land because they wanted to ensure that the settlement of this dispute goes smoothly. As you said, none of the possibilities arise where if the disputed community is given to, disputed site is given to one community and the land owned by the surrounding land is owned by the other community, it does not therefore infringe upon the community's right to access the holy site, Muslim or Hindu. So now again, this government too has assured the Supreme Court that if a certain blueprint is chalked out wherein a clear path to the disputed site is planned and given, the rest of the land, since it is not disputed, can very well easily be given to the original owners.
What you're saying is quite big, and it makes the whole idea quite feasible, because now you have a scenario where there's an encircled land, but then you're giving a passage, presuming that it'll go, even if it goes to the other side, other community, you're giving them a free passage from your own land so that their fundamental rights to practice their own religion isn't harmed. Very big explainer coming from Siddhartha. He has explained that how it's not a writ petition, how it's not a full bench hearing, and how what the courts will decide will come up in probably in the next 48 hours, and how this is, in this political season of masterstroke, the father of all masterstroke. Whether it will translate into votes, we have to wait and watch. But definitely, this is not the last we have heard, and this is not the last we have seen as far as this entire political discourse around Ram Janmabhoomi and Ram Temple is concerned. Thanks for watching.